All right, model railroaders. Hey, this is Steve 87th here again with you. Sitting at my table, getting ready to do some soldering. What I'm going to do is I'm not going to bore you guys on how to do soldering. I don't want to say that it's not a skill, but the biggest thing about soldering is it just takes practice, and it depends upon what you're soldering as to what you're doing. So what I am attempting to do now is all of my little wires go somewhere. They all have a place to be at, okay? And I also got the little connectors that they go on. So the first thing I did, we've got the rear wires, which are all hooked up in one spot, okay? Then one of the first things that I had to do, which I guess I didn't finish. Nope, I didn't. I started to look at what wires I had to do next. So every one of these lights is supposed to have this resistor diode pack on it. And this little black thing here, okay? So the first thing I did was started looking at where they have to go onto my controller, my DCC controller right? So I know you guys probably can't see this, but like pin 6 is yellow for forward, or yellow, which is the rear light, white, which is the forward light, and blue, which is common. So one of the things that I did was I made sure that I, at least when I soldered the tiny little magnetic wire to the larger wire here, that I have them correct with a blue and a white so that I know what those are supposed to go to. These wires, on the other hand, once they are hooked up, they have to go someplace, but because this is actually controlling the power to the light, it doesn't matter. The other thing that I did was I came in here and soldered or put on a shrink tube of the color that this most represents. So this is the forward light. Down here you can see this is going to be the rear spotlight, which is the next thing that I'm doing. And it also has a shrink tube on it, which is a yellow one. So I'm going to go ahead and do some soldering. And if I can set it up easy enough and all that, I'll show you how I'm doing the wiring together. Okay. Okay, so just a couple of things. Like I said, I'm going to show you guys this easily, and then I'm going to move on. So the first thing that I found out is on these micro wires, do not, it's really hard to see. There is actually insulation on them. Oh, sorry, let me come down. I don't know if you guys can even see that. Let's try it against some white paper. There is actually insulation on those that show green and red. Well, I don't know of a good way to strip it off. The best way that I found is actually just taking a knife blade and gently pulling it across the wires and just kind of scraping that off. Okay. By trying it any other way, it is breaking the wire. Okay, and again, you got to do it just gently. The covering comes right off, but you're going to need to have that off so that you can obviously solder it. If not, you're going to have an extra resistance in there. Okay. And again, this is the way I'm doing it. If other people have a better way to do it, I'd love to know, because I've tried to ask a few people and people just say, oh, just take it off. You know, and it's just kind of like, how do you solder two wires together? Oh, well, you just solder them together. Well, those aren't really answers. They're just kind of, you know, I'm not exactly sure, so just, you know, just do it and see what it comes out. And let me tell you, soldering this tiny little 30 wire to this larger wire that I have here, which is about 26 gauge, is pretty bad. So the next thing that I do on this, I go ahead and strip these back fairly far, because this is the harder wire because it's already in there. This I can easily do some work with. So we're going to take those off there. And cut them just so that there's enough. Keeping those. However you want to strip these wires, you've got wire strippers. Again, these are like 26 or 28, so they're very, very small. And so regular convention sometimes doesn't work when you're trying to strip these off. Okay. And this is where the fun comes in, right? Okay, got one. Yay. And of course, we're doing solid to solid wires on this, which makes it even that much more fun on trying to solder them together. And everything is so small. See, now that's what happens. Now I cut the black one too short. So you want to make sure that you definitely have enough so that you can get more on there. Because once you get down to the end of it, well, you're down to the end of it, and there's no more wiring to get. Oh, okay. I'm going to try to get these off and set them up for solder.
All right, model railroaders, here's the big test. So I came up, I was able to get the wires hooked up. Okay, so this is just the motor to the DCC. Now, I will confess, this is not the first run that you guys are getting, but you can see here, it's on 03. Okay, and I put it on forward. Okay, take it to reverse. So, I will tell you this. I did not make this successful the first time through. Let me see if I can exactly show you why. I will try to point it out so that maybe you guys won't have the same problem. Sorry if I'm moving the camera a little bit too much, but I need to not have this on a tripod at this time. So, what happened? Let's see. Oh yeah, you guys can see it. You can see here, whoops, sorry, this wheel. You can see here how that wheel bumps out just a little bit. Right? There's a little black thing on that wheel there. Right there. There's also one on that one. Okay? Now, if you come over to the other set of wheels, give it a second to focus. We'll go back out, back in. Okay. See if it'll focus in here. There we go. You notice here, there isn't that black thing. Same on that side. Well, when I first ran this, this black one was actually over on this side. So I actually was running a short across these wheels because that little black thing there is insulating your wheel sets so that you have it. So if I turn this around, you will see that now this set of wheels has the rubber and then this set of wheels doesn't. So that's a good thing to check for before you do it. Now, yeah, you heard how loud that was, so I think we're going to try some oil. Hopefully the motor isn't too messed up, but that was pretty loud. So that's my first success. So like I said, you guys didn't watch the first test. I didn't have my phone with me at the time. But, so the first part of hooking up tons and tons of wires is done. And I have all of my resistors and diodes and stuff like that all done on this. And if you guys want to see, let me go get the tripod for the light and I'll show you what's going on with the lights. Okay, so the easiest thing is just use track power for everything. This is what I found out. So, first light. Oh, sorry. You see here. Oh, there we go. That light's working. That's one light. Believe me, this is not the easiest thing to do. There's a lot of light, a lot of wires coming out of here. I'm trying to hook up the wires to the... Okay, there we go. Come on. Oops, sorry. Alright, we're just going to stop and try. Okay, so I'm going to try to demo all of the different lights for you. Let's see if we can do this. So the first one, I'm going to try to do these rear lights. Hopefully you can see those. This is all going to be done on track power. So, let's see, where'd they go? Oh, so the first set of lights. All right, there's the reds. They're pretty bright. That's kind of cool. Okay, it's the red lights. Let's go over here and grab the other. Oh shoot, my rear light fell off again. This guy's being a little bit of a butthead back here. He likes to keep falling off. No, wrong light. Oh, I'm going to just show you that one then. Okay. One of the work lights. This is not easy with all of these things laying around here. Come on. There's the strobe light working. One of the other front lights working. Already did the back lights. That's the front light we did. That's those guys. I'm telling you, this is not easy. There's too many wires here. And they're all thin and they're all very, very fussy. Okay, so I just had it there a second ago. There's the backlight. Okay, so I think that's all the lights. So they're all working. Now it's just getting all of these wires figured out, shoved in there so that they can all work together. Okay? Okay, model railroaders. So there we go. All the wires are hooked up. Somehow all of that stuff has got to fit into there with this in the way. Sorry for the bouncing around. It's also late at night, but I just needed to get this done. So that's my whole thing set up. We'll figure out how to get it in. All right, so a little bit of the moment of truth. That is in forward. Lights are on in the back. Got red lights. We got the forward light. Reverse. We got the reverse light. So that's 2 out of the 3. Now the only thing I don't know is how to get my other functions, my F1 and F2 functions to work. So that's probably some programming, but it's hooked up. Right now it doesn't look pretty, and I'm not sure if I can get all this done or if I'm going to have to go back and resolder all of these connections. So that's where I'm at with this. It at least works. Okay, Marty, so I'm real sorry, but it looks like the train car is going to be out of commission for a while. I got to figure out how to get all of that in there. But I did decide to get you some help. Contacted Roy, and Roy told me about some buddies, and I think he went over and got some help for us. So police are escorting a Grove crane to get you some help there, and then a second Grove crane, which should be more than enough to get those 2 cars back on the track for you. Okay, Fred, so they're on their way. Hopefully they'll be there really soon. Okay, they got a police escort, so good luck on that one. Hopefully those cars will get back on track. Okay, so this is Steve 87th with Puget Sound and Pacific Railroad saying thanks for watching, and if you liked what you saw, go ahead and subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll give you an update as soon as the next one's available.